Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Ortiz from BS Education, major in Social Studies 1A. So, our subject today is purposive communication. So, I will answer the 10 questions that given to me. So, I will answer the number one first. Number one, why is it important that you know the communication models? Because as a communicating is a rigid process. To understand communication models can be an essential source to understand, such as rigidity. Communication models predict for more effective communication in future. Number 2, how are communication models going to help you to be an efficient communicator? So, as a communicator, communication models going to help help us to identify and understand the components and relationship of the communication process being studied. Number 3, what are the criticism of Aristotle model of communication? So the criticism of Aristotle model of communication is there is no concept of feedback. This is one way from speaker to audience. There is no concept of communication failure like noise and barriers. This model can only be used in public speaking. So the criticism of Aristotle communication model is nakafocus lang siya sa speaker to audience. Number 4, how did Harold D. Laswell come up with Laswell's communication model? So, Laswell communication model was developed by communication theorist Harold D. Laswell 1902 to 1978 and 1948. So, Laswell model of communication, also known as an action model or linear model or one-way model of communication, is regarded as one of the most influential communication models. So, Laswell communication model is focusing on linear model or one-way model of communication. Number 5, what are the criticism of Laswell communication model? So, the criticism of Laswell communication model is the major criticism of Laswell model is that it does not include feedback and it ignores the possibility of noise. Without feedback, a communication process cannot be fruitful. So, Laswell model is very linear and does not consider barriers in the communication process. So, criticism of Laswell communication model, they have sender, message, medium, receiver, and feedback. Number 6, how did Berlo come up with Berlo's communication model? So, the Berlo's communication model is also focuses on encoding and decoding, which happens before the sender sends the message and before the receiver receives the message perfectly. So the Berlo's communication model is focusing on encoding and decoding only. So Berlo's model has mainly four components to describe the communication process. So the four, so that four components, they are sender, message, channel, and receiver. So each one of the component is affected by many factors. Number 7. Discuss the essential things the source speaker of Berlo's communication model should have. So the essential things that the source speaker of Berlo's communication should have is the source. In other words, also called the sender, is the one from whom the thought originates. So he is the one who transferred the information to the receiver is after carefully putting his thoughts into words. Number 8. Discuss the essential things that the message under Berlus communication model. So the essential things that the message undergoes in Berlus communication is when an individual converts his thoughts into words, a message is created. So the process is also called as encoding. Number 9. Discuss the essential things that the channel under Berlus communication model. So the essential things that the channel undergoes in Berlus communication is the channel actually refers to the medium how the information flows from the sender to the receiver. So the essential things that the channel undergoes in wireless communication is actually refers to the medium how the information flows from the sender into the receiver. So number 9, I 10 rather, discuss the essential things that receiver of wireless communication model should have. So the essential things that the receiver of wireless communication shall have is when the message reaches the receiver or he tries to understand what the listener actually wants to convey and then respond accordingly. So this is also called the as a decoding.